Well, thank you, Queen. And the reason we call her Queen Twitter, or Queen for short, is because she has over 1 million folks following her on Twitter. That's huge. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this. Is it crap? Is it crap? Doggone it, is it crap? Or is it gold webinar? And of course, we don't really know. So those that are out there saying it's crap, it's crap, it's crap, we don't know. And those that's out there saying it's gold, it's gold, it's gold, we don't know. We won't know until this system launches and people get paid on time. What we're going to do, however, is we're going to proceed cautiously, but proceed as if it is gold. So our disclaimer to start with is it could be crap. We don't know. It could be gold. We don't know. All right. What we don't want to do is just sit back and wait. One of my multimillionaire mentors taught me this years ago, 20 plus years ago. He said, a good plan executed today is better than a perfect plan executed tomorrow. So we're not going to sit back and wait to see if things work to perfection. We're going to go on and start sharing this now with our disclaimers. And if it winds up being crap, darn. If it winds up being gold, because there is no financial risk, then we're going to go forward. Queen, I hear some background noise. Now, I do need to say this real quickly, and then we're going to get into our content. And this will be some new content. So some of you that have come to our webinars over the past week or 2 weeks, you're going to see and hear some things that you haven't heard up to this point. My lovely wife swept me off my feet 24 years ago, and I still haven't found the floor. She's dealt with some health issues of late, and one of the things that she's dealing with, unfortunately, is she has a compression fracture in her back. So that makes it very difficult for her to get up and move around right now until she'll have surgery soon and all that good stuff. Now, normally when I'm doing a live webinar, one of my sons is there to attend to her if she needs anything. And yesterday, in his attempt to be LeBron James and Steph Curry all in one, he had an accident playing basketball, and so he's incapacitated. So I just checked on my wife to make sure she was okay. If she needs me, as much as I want to do this uninterrupted, obviously my first duty is to my wife and to my children. So if she calls me, I'll have to step away. I'll let you know that I have to step away. I'll get back as soon as I possibly can. Hopefully we can go on uninterrupted. All right, so let's go on and get started. By the way, if you are here in your questions box, open that up for me. If you are here and you have not yet registered with THWGlobal, you have not registered with THWGlobal, in your questions box, put no or in or something like that. That tells me you have not yet registered with THWGlobal. And that's fine. That's fine, because I want to give you enough information for you to say, well, if this thing is gold, why might this thing work? And why might this be a big hit? Okay? Gotcha. Okay. Okay. All right. So there's some of you here that have not yet registered. And so we're going to be saying, as we go through this material, if it makes sense to you, get back to the person that referred you and register with them. Hide your purse, hide your wallet, hide your credit card, because nobody's asking you for any money. You can register with THWGlobal absolutely free. And again, you'll want to register with the person that referred you. So I see some no's there, but I don't see nearly as many no's as I see people on the webinar. So I'm going to also assume that a lot of you are already registered. Let's give you value. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. Okay. So I just captured this just a few moments before we started the webinar, and this just shows you just how much interest there is in THWGlobal. Now, what we want to do on this evening is we don't want to just sell the sizzle. We don't want to just talk about the buzz. We want to see if there's really some substance potentially behind THWGlobal. So in less than 2 weeks now, or just about 2 weeks now, they've registered 275,000 accounts. They're registering about 1,000 people per hour, and we see this number go up and down. We saw towards the end of last week, it was like 1,100, and then over the weekend, it went down a little bit as people were out doing things with the family, not paying as much attention to the internet, things of that nature. But look at the amount of visitors today, 360,000 visitors today. And more importantly, look at the page views. People are sticking. I went to Alexa, and I believe I'm right on this. It seemed to suggest that people were on the site an average of 5 minutes per visit, which is huge in the internet marketing space. You don't typically get people spending that much time at a website. Now THW Global is in the advertising niche. They're in the advertising niche, okay? Give me a moment. Was that the right number? Oh, I'm sorry. This was from earlier. This was from a couple hours ago. This was from just a few moments ago, all right? So over 1 million page views, 277,000 have now registered, all right? So just in a couple of hours, a couple thousand more folks have registered with THW Global. Okay, so THW Global is in the advertising space. It's in the advertising space. Now let's look at some other companies that are in the advertising space to see if there is potential, Cheryl, for you and I to make money, Rod, leveraging a company that's in the advertising space. Let's first take a look at YouTube. All right, let's first take a look at YouTube. This comes from Fortune magazine, where they asked the question, how much is YouTube worth? Now, this is actually dated. This is a little more than a year ago. And back then, they were saying that YouTube, which is owned by Google, is worth $70 billion all on its own. If you separated YouTube from Google, and obviously, what are they generating their monies from? They're generating their monies from ad revenue. Now, this is very important for us to get, okay? Because Google, as well as YouTube, and we'll take a look at a couple of other social media sites, have a free model, meaning for someone to be a user, for someone to be a subscriber, for someone to be an account holder, it doesn't cost you anything to have a YouTube account. It doesn't cost you anything to have a Gmail account. Obviously, Gmail owned by Google. It doesn't cost anything to have a Facebook account. All right. So what THW Global has done is they've said, wait a minute. Here is a free model that's generating billions with a B, dollars in advertising revenue. So YouTube, which by the way, who would have thought this 10 years ago when Google bought YouTube for what now seems like a paltry $1.65 billion. They are saying that YouTube in and of itself has a higher value of all but 66 companies in the Standard & Poor's S&P 500. The S&P 500 are the top 500 companies weighted in their capitalization, what they're worth when you take their outstanding shares of the stock times the stock price. That's where you come up with those numbers, okay? So there's only 66 companies that are larger than YouTube. What is YouTube? It's a free site that draws in content viewers, and because of all of these content viewers, YouTube is able to sell advertising, generating $70 billion net worth to Google. Let's take a look at Twitter, okay? Now, this was interesting because this particular article was actually not so, what's the word I'm looking for? The complimentary of Twitter in its last quarter where they were reporting their earnings. Because essentially what was happening with Twitter is their user base isn't growing, not nearly, let's say, like a Facebook or what have you. But even with that being said, even though the user base is not growing, which, you know, it doesn't hurt when you still have a billion plus or so users, even though the user base isn't growing as much, their income, their advertising is growing. So here's another free model. What has it cost you to set up a Twitter account? Nothing. What did it cost you to set up a YouTube or a Gmail account? Nothing. Okay? Didn't cost you anything. Which, by the way, Ted, how pretty is the Twitter site? Is it a drop dead gorgeous site, or is it pretty just average? You know, because THWGlobal, when I first saw the site, I wasn't impressed at all. But I had to look at it not in the space of network marketing or home-based business building. I had to look at it for what it says it wants to become, which is an advertising giant. When I go to Facebook, I don't see some mind-blowing website. When I go to YouTube, when I go to Instagram, I don't see anything on the front end that's mind-blowing. Take a look at this. With Twitter, in the fourth quarter, they made $641 million in advertising. Here's a free model. You can join THW for free. Here's a free model, Twitter, that generated, because it has a massive user base now, $641 million in advertising, and that was up 48% year over year. And they're getting a lot of that growth from mobile. So THWGlobal is in the advertising space, and it will allow you and I to leverage them to make money, and we'll be able to do it with our mobile devices, or if you want to sit in front of a desktop computer. Let's show Facebook, okay? Take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at this. Social network on Wednesday. This is reported April 28th, 2016. Advertising revenue jumped 57% in the first quarter to $5.2 billion with a B. A quarter, ladies and gentlemen, is just 3 months. They did $5.2 billion with a B dollars in revenue. And if you compare that to the same time last year, they did $3.3 billion. Certainly nothing to sneeze at. But look at that growth. In what was a free model, and it still is free to the users, but what Facebook did, what YouTube did, what Google has done, what Twitter has done, is they've launched a free platform, so there's no barriers to entry, so people, hey, it's free, it's not going to cost me anything, let me join, okay? Now, what these companies have done is they've monetized that huge database. The problem is they hadn't paid you. The problem, Victor, they hadn't paid you, buddy. The problem, Zeke Stewart, they hadn't paid you. The problem is they haven't paid you. Give me just a moment. I want to go to something real quickly. So let me show you. Now, let me stay on track here. Let me stay on track. Give me a moment. I'm sorry. I got excited. We'll get back to that. Okay. Now let's look at something else. So this is what I want you to get right here. By the way, this is a two-part webinar. Okay. The first part is to help you understand advertising, THWGlobal, what their goals are as they've communicated it to us. The second part is how do we really parlay this into an income stream and potentially even 6 and 7 figures in our businesses. Okay, let's go back to work. Let's take a look at Google real quickly, all right? Now, this is a different form of advertising. Many of you are familiar with the terminology Google AdWords. And this is where you go to Google, you go Google something, and what pops up is, all of these search results. But you have those first few results that are ads. And if you click on to one of those links, then there is an advertiser who's basically paying to be there. And whenever you click, that advertiser is being charged. That's called a pay-per-click or cost-per-click marketing. Now, take a look at what some companies are paying to have their ads viewed when you when you go to Google. So let's say you go Google insurance. All right. Some companies pay as much as $54 just to have a person click onto the site. Person may stay on the site a second. They may stay on the site 2 hours. They were charged as much as $54.91 a click. What I want to get across and impress upon you is advertising's not going anywhere, and big business is paying big money to get their message in front of people. Loans, $44.28 per click. Mortgage, $47.12 per click. Per click. Don't know how long, they don't know when someone clicks how long they're going to be on that site. They don't know when someone clicks how serious they really are about getting a mortgage. And so WordStream said this. They said, what's the most money Google can make for each click? Google can make up to $50 per click from pay-per-click keyword bids. It goes on to say that insurance keyword bids have been as high as $54.91. Again, I want to impress upon you just how big this advertising piece is, okay? Highest CPC for loan keywords, $44.28, $47.12 for mortgages, $47.07 for attorneys. So again, people, companies, systems are paying big money to advertise their message, to get their message out en masse. Now let's talk about TV advertising, okay? $78 billion a year just in the US goes for TV ads and commercials, but those costs can be extremely exorbitant. For instance, let's say that a person wanted to do a TV ad. Well, if they're running a local TV station, they may be charged anywhere from $200 to $1,500 just to create the ad. They haven't bought any ad space yet, just to create a 30-second ad. But if they're doing a national advertising campaign, going through a national advertising agency, that cost could be as much as $342,000 for a 30-second spot just to produce the commercial. Now this is dated a little bit because this goes back to 2011. A 30-second TV commercial during the Super Bowl back in 2011 was $3.5 million a spot. A 30-second commercial in maybe a very popular TV show like American Idol, which was extremely popular for several seasons, $475,000 for a 30-second spot. And other ads that may run on some of the lesser known national TV programs, or less popular, I should say, $100,000 for a 30-second spot. What's the point that I want to get across? Big business pays big money to put their ads in front of viewers. But here is a challenge that big business is having. They're putting out billions of dollars in advertising, but here is a challenge. And part of this started with DVRs and TiVos where you could record your favorite shows. And then it was exacerbated by systems like Netflix and other on-demand services. And they had this article, and I wanted you to see the article information here, okay? So you can all check all this stuff out. They had this article that said that Netflix and other on-demand services like Hulu Plus, for instance, killed the TV ad golden goose. They go on to say that Netflix, let's go back here. It says what initially seemed to be a win-win proposition is now a dangerous trend for both parties. By weaning audiences from live viewing and teaching them to binge on their own schedule, all without commercials, Netflix is killing the goose that laid the golden egg. While audiences are watching more television than ever, they're watching less of it live, causing ad revenue to shrink. So here's what's happening, all right? $78 billion is being spent on TV advertising in the U.S. markets alone. But with services like Netflix or with services like being able to record your live program. So I'm a big NFL football fan and I love my Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, so what I will do is I will record the game. I won't watch it live. I'll record the game, and then I won't start watching it until I've recorded about 45 minutes to an hour of the game. Why? So I'm actually watching it from my DVR. Why? Because I don't want to watch the commercials. I don't like watching the commercials. All right? Now, if they paid me to watch the commercials, I wouldn't DVR it. I'd watch the commercials if they paid me. If they paid me something like up to $25 an hour, and I could earn up to $250 a week, and I could add an additional up to $1,000 a month to watch their commercials, then I would watch the commercials. But they're not paying me to do that, so I DVR it. But there is a company that says we want to change the game because we want to pay our content, not our content providers, we want to pay our users to actually watch promotional content. We want to pay our users to watch promotional content. See, they ultimately want to be able to compete with YouTube, compete with Facebook. But let's just be real honest. Who's just going to come out of the woodworks with the same model of free, let's get people registering, and then let's serve up advertising, and actually compete against YouTube, and actually compete against Facebook, and actually compete against Twitter? They can't come out this late in the internet mobile marketing advertising game and come even think about competing with a YouTube or a Facebook or a Twitter or an Instagram without having a little twist to it. So here's the twist. The twist is they want to build a huge base, millions upon millions upon millions all across the globe, of people that subscribe and open up accounts for free. Not that dissimilar from Instagram, not that dissimilar from Twitter, not that dissimilar from Facebook. Okay? Then what they want to be able to do is go to big business and say, hey, we have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions of folks that they can't wait to view your promotional content. So they charge the advertiser, big business. Big business pays THWGlobal, and then THWGlobal pays you and I to view and to comment on commercials, TV pilot programs, movie trailers, video surveys, and more. And it can be done from your smartphone. It can be done from any computer, anywhere, 24 hours a day. Now, let me ask you a question, okay? What we've just covered, these first 20 some odd minutes, do you get a better sense if THWGlobal is able to perform, if THWGlobal is able to execute? Are you getting a better sense of just how huge this advertising model can be, and that if they execute, we're not talking about anything scammy. I saw somebody on YouTube today that were like, yeah, they're going to pay you $25 to do nothing. No, they're not paying us $25 an hour up to do nothing. They're paying us up to $25 an hour to have eyes on promotional content. Eyes that are excited to watch commercials, excited to watch the TV pilot program, excited to watch the movie trailers and the video surveys. If you have a better sense, just in this half an hour that we've shared, of how big this could be if they execute, in your questions box, put a Y or a yes. Fantastic. 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 I don't think it's a scam. I'm not questioning whether or not it's a scam. You know, I just hope the guys and the guyettes behind it execute. And if they execute, ladies and gentlemen, we're here first. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, give me a moment. I think I hit the wrong thing. Okay, so here's what THW Global, this is their promotional information, so I'm simply sharing with you what they've shared. They said they want to be bigger than YouTube. Is that going to happen tomorrow? Certainly not, okay? It's going to take some time to get to that point. But they want to become one of the world's largest advertising giants. They say, think about it. Most companies would pay a minimum of $1.50 a minute, and sometimes more, for a subscriber to watch their advertised content, which comes out to a minimum of $90 per hour, for which THW Global would wind up paying to you and I, the content viewers, $40 of that, or up to $40 of that. Now, they break that down. We'll cover compensation in just a few moments. So here is what the unique proposition is of THW Global, okay? Because this actually answers two major problems across the globe. Problem for big business, problem for advertisers is it's becoming more and more and more difficult to get their advertisements in front of a committed audience. It's becoming more difficult and more difficult and more difficult. So THW Global is saying, we're going to step in and we're going to change the ball game. We can't compete against YouTube just coming out of the gate. We can't compete against Facebook just coming out of the gate. What we can do is we can have a new model that says we'll get people to register for free and we'll pay them to view this content. So now you've got convicted eyes viewing the content. And unlike Facebook, and unlike YouTube, and unlike Twitter, when we make advertising revenue from these companies, we're not just going to stuff it all in our pocket. We're going to pay out a portion of those revenues so that it incentivizes people to want to watch the content. Are we getting that? Are we getting that? Are we getting that? Okay? All right. So, again, coming from THW Global, it says, ask yourself the following question regarding guaranteed eyes and ears on visual commercial ads. Take any one of the Fortune 500 companies' advertising budget, and even if it's $1 million a week, there's not one TV, radio, magazine, newspaper, traditional advertising company that can guarantee eyes and ears that will see and hear the advertisements. THW Global can and does. And so this is where we're going to get paid. We're going to talk about how we're going to get paid in just a few moments, and then give you some tidbits on how we're going to be able to ultimately parlay this potentially into a 6 or a 7-figure income. Okay, so where is the money coming from? It's coming from advertisers paying to have their promotional content put in front of you and I, the content viewer. Okay, now they also talk about, here's some examples. There'll be ads that will try to sell a person a $20 item. But then there'll also be ads maybe from an automobile dealer that's trying to sell a $30,000 automobile. There'll be ads for realtors, ads for doctors, ads for banks, ads for mortgages, and most any product or service you can think of, okay? So I want you to see where the money is coming from. Now let's begin to transition, and let's talk about how so you make money. Sean, how you make money, all right? We've already asked the question, is it crap? We don't know. Is it gold? We don't know. But what I wanted to share with you is that if it's gold, just how golden it could be, just how big this could become. Give me just a moment. Let me flip over here. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, now, so here's how the compensation works, all right? THW Global is going to pay up to $25 an hour for every IV, and IV stands for international viewer. This is the person who registers for free from their referrer's website, okay? So obviously you'll want to get back to the person who referred you to tonight's webinar if you haven't already registered, and register for free at their website. All right, so now we start viewing content. By the way, we're still in pre-launch. The system is due to launch July 4th. I will put an asterisk. I've been with a number of companies that were in pre-launch, and in a good amount of those, whatever the pre-launch date was that was originally set, maybe was moved back by a day or 2 or 3. So I would not be surprised if that happens, and I'm not going to foo-fooey on THW if that happens. So I want to prepare you for that potential now. Okay, so now, let's say the system's live. You watch an hour's worth of promotional content, okay? You're going to earn up to $25 an hour, and that up to is based on what part of the world you live in. An advertiser advertising to, let's say, a Filipino audience in the Philippines probably is paying less because the average income in the Philippines is less than, let's say, the average income in Australia or the average income in the US. So a lot of that is going to depend on where a person lives. However, having said that, if, let's say, in the Philippines someone earned $10 an hour, that $10 an hour in US dollar terms is really big because the cost of living in the Philippines isn't nearly what it is, let's say, in the US, okay? So I'm going to use as our example the $25 an hour example. Know that it will vary from country to country, okay? All right, so pays up to $25 an hour for a maximum of 10 hours a week. So right there, a person could generate as much as $250 a week doing what? Having captive eyes, being a captive viewer of this promotional content. Now, just think that through. What that means is a person, if they did that 4 weeks out of the month, could generate up to $1,000. No marketing. They don't have an email list yet. They're not buying ads themselves. This isn't an advertising revenue share that we've seen online where you and I had to buy ads as the only way to make money. Nobody here has bought anything. They're using the free model of Facebook, the free model of YouTube, the free model of Twitter, so on and so forth. So now, I want you to see how big this is. Now, we're not just talking about network marketers. This transcends the network marketing space because we're just talking about folks that want to make some money, that may not have an entrepreneurial bone in their body, but they want to make an extra $1,000 up to $1,000 a month. Now think about the power of that. Think about how many retirees would like to make up to an extra $1,000 a month. Think about how many single moms would like to make up to an extra $1,000 a month. Think about how many college students would like to make up to an extra $1,000 a month. Think about how many network marketers would like to make the first $1,000 a month they've ever made in their network marketing career. So think of just how big this can be, ladies, and this is so much bigger than the 275,000 folks that have registered so far. So much bigger than network marketing. So much bigger than multi-level marketing. Think in your area. What's the economy like in your area? Do folks need some extra money? What is it like in your country? Do folks want and need some extra money? So $25 an hour potential up to for 10 hours a week of viewing. Now, with our audience, we want our audience to covenant 10 hours a week so that you max out your potential income. But it doesn't stop there because there is a network part of this. And if you have never referred a soul, and if you're not good at recruiting, if you don't have a list, then I want you to follow what we're doing. Our Thursday nights will be training, and a lot of that training is going to be geared around helping you to build your following, helping you to build your audience, helping you to build your list, so that you have people that are open to not only your THW message, but any other marketing message, Roger, you may have now or in the future. So now, let's say you refer a user. There's no barriers to entry. You should be able to refer tens, hundreds, in time thousands, especially when you start learning some of the things we're going to be teaching you on our Thursday night webinars and start applying those. So now here's what happens, Jerry. You get $5, up to $5 an hour for anyone that you have personally enrolled that views an hour's worth of content. So you referred Terry. Terry views an hour's worth of content. Terry, let's say, earns the $25 an hour. You are Terry's referrer. You earn $5 an hour. Well, what if Terry buys into our message and he views 10 hours for the week? Congratulations, Terry. Up to $250 weekly added to your family's budget. But if you referred Terry and he watched 10 hours for the week, that's an extra $50 or up to $50 a week that you just earned. Well, what if Terry does $1,000 for the month because he viewed 10 hours a week, 4 weeks in a month? Then you just earned $200 as an override. Now get this, and Terry is not on auto ship. And Terry is not on a monthly subscription. What we do hope Terry does, what we do hope you will do, is that we will start to patronize, which one is it? Those advertisers that we see. For instance, if I am thinking about getting some more insurance and I'm watching the content and there is a provider there talking about insurance, well, how about I go to that advertiser's website and keep that money in the family? In other words, if this advertiser is advertising through THWGlobal and they're seeing a good return on their advertising dollars, what will they continue to do? Advertise through THWGlobal, and what would that mean for you and me? We will make money. Okay? So get this. For every person you personally enroll, that person could be worth to you on a monthly basis $200 per month. Sean, name one network marketing company where you refer someone and you could make $200 a month residually from that one referral. There might be one or two out there, but it's not going to be that many. Okay? Again, this transcends network marketing. This transcends MLM. Okay? All right. Now, let's build out an organization of content viewers. Some of these people are never going to come onto a live webinar like this. Some of these folks are never going to do any type of advertising to promote THWGlobal, paid or free. Some of these folks, they're just looking for a job. Somebody told me today that they went onto some type of job site and they did a post, a free post today on a job site, and they got 6 people to register with them through THWGlobal because they did one post on some job site out there. There's a whole bunch of them out there. All right, so they weren't even saying, hey, come and do a make a six-figure business or 7-figure business or what have you. They just simply said, hey, you want to make up to $250 a week, up to $1,000 a month, watching commercials? Click here. And they got 6 people. They ain't pay a dime in advertising. We're going to talk about how we want to scale this ultimately, not so much tonight, on Thursday night. 6 people. 6 people. All right, so there's going to be people that join you that all they want to do is watch content. And hey, do we love those folks? Yes. Are we going to talk down on those folks? No. Are we going to treat them like second-class citizens because they're not building a referral network? No. Because every single person that you personally enroll could be worth $200 a month to you. But now, let's build out an organization. Okay, so let's say that Rod refers Sean. Sean does the viewing. Sean earns up to $25 an hour. Rod referred Sean. Rod earns up to $5 for every hour that Sean is viewing. And let's say that Sean then refers Vernetta. Vernetta is on Rod's second level. Rod referred Sean. Sean is on Rod's first level. Sean referred Vernetta. Vernetta is on Rod's second level. So what would happen is when Vernetta watches an hour, she would make $25 an hour or up to $25 an hour. Her referrer made $5. Rod was her referrer. He made $5. Sean was Rod's referrer. Sean gets $1. A person above Sean gets $1. A person above that person gets $1. A person above that person gets $1. It is a 10-level unilevel, meaning you can refer as many as you want personally, and anyone that you refer, when they refer, their referrals are on your second level. And anyone on your second level, when they refer, their referrals are on your third level. And then your fourth, and then your fifth, and then your sixth, and then your seventh, then your eighth, then your ninth, and your 10th. And now anybody in that referral network that views an hour's worth of content could be worth as much as $1 for that hour for you. If they view 10 hours a week, that could be worth $10 times all those people that could be in your 10-level organization. If they view 40 hours a month, everybody in your 10-level organization could be worth up to $40 an hour. Now let me show you just some snippets of what's already happening. And ladies and gentlemen, most of these folks are still moving on a reserved pace, meaning they're hoping this is true. They're hoping this is going to work. They're getting the word out just in case. They hadn't made the first dime yet. What's going to happen when, if the company executes, if they pay, and if they pay on time? It's going to be crazy. So here's a person, I've blanked out names. Here's a person's organization. This is their 10-level organization, 2 weeks after the pre-launch started. They have personally enrolled 41. On their second level, there's already 1,000 folks. On the third level, 4,100. On their fourth level, 6,000. On the fifth level, almost 7,000. On the sixth level, almost 8,000. 7,000 on the seventh, 6,700, 5,800, 53. This is a few people sharing it with a few people who share it with a few people who share it with a few people. And now, after 2 weeks, this person has 51,000 folks in their 10-level organization. If everyone just averaged 1 hour's worth of content a week, there's going to be some that do 10 hours. And then there's going to be some that never watch anything. That's just how it works. Okay? So if they just average one hour a week times the 51,000 folks, ladies and gentlemen, that would be $51,000 a week. If you multiply that out, potential, maybe, perhaps, not saying it's going to happen, giving you those income disclosures and disclaimers. Ladies and gentlemen, this person could already be on a multiple 7-figure track. What if it's gold? Yeah, it could be crap. It could be crap. But what if it's gold? My gosh. My gosh. Queen, let me show you another one. Oh, by the way, you say 51,000. If they average 1 hour a week, not 10, 1 hour a week, $51,000 a week. If they average 2 hours a week, that's over 6 figures a week. And you say that just can't be possible. That just can't be possible. That's just way too much money. No, it's not. Look at this dude. This dude, look how young this dude is. Mark Zuckerberg. Facebook. See, here's the thing. He's not paying you and me. He's got this whole 1.6 billion people across the globe that have registered users, and he's leveraging 1.6 billion people He's making tons of money. We just showed you $5.2 billion for the quarter they took in advertising revenue. He ain't sharing it with you and me. So what THWGlobal is saying is, we will pay you to be a content. You don't tell me that's too much money. Not when this dude's worth $48.7 billion. And look at what it was at the end of 2015, 40.3. His net worth has gone up over $8 billion in the last 6 months. What niche is he in? Say it with me. Advertising. What about this dude? He's on Forbes 400. Well, who is this dude? Co-founder, director of special projects, Google, another free system that has a ton of users that brings in advertising, but he's not sharing his $34.1 billion with us. So when I show that somebody already has 51,000 folks, and we haven't even started, nobody's made the first dime. What happens if this thing is gold and these people start making money? What do you think this 51,000 becomes? How quickly this 51,000 becomes 511,000, just adding a zero. Think that through, ladies and gentlemen. But we see that people in advertising, that's where the big money is. Now, let's take a look at Jeff Bezos. And you might be saying, well, why am I putting the founder of Amazon up here? Here's why. $61 billion. Because I remember, Queen, when Amazon came out, and all they did was they sold some books online. Whoever would have thought that Amazon would become the juggernaut that it is. It smacks Walmart in the face when it comes to online purchasing. I think the only company in the world that does more e-commerce than Amazon is Alibaba out of China. But Jeff has set things up where you can make some money if you had an Amazon business, so good for him. But my whole point is, let's not be so quick to say it's crap. Let's not be so quick to go to YouTube and watch some marketers who are wanting to take advantage of the traffic coming through THWGlobal and saying, hey, it's crap, it doesn't work, what have you. Oh, by the way, if you want to see a real business, come to my link. Let's not be so quick to fall for that. It could be crap, but it could be gold. Let me share another user here, okay, as they're building out their network. All right, so this particular person, I know this person fairly well. They have personally enrolled 270. Now, I know this person fairly well, and I know that if this thing is gold, that they are going to go absolutely bonkers. I would not be surprised to see this person personally enroll 10,000 themselves in time with the marketing campaigns I know that they're capable of running. Look at what they have on their second level. So from the 270 they personally enrolled, some of those enrolled a few, 800 on the second level, 645, 674, 448. This person, again, just since the 16th of June, almost 3,000 in their 10-level organization. So once again, if everybody just averaged an hour per user, that right there is already $3,000 a week, 12 grand a month. And this is without the first person making a dollar yet. If any of these people make the dollar, is game on. It's game on. Now let me show you something that really excites me. This comes from a retiree. Give me a moment. This comes from a retiree. The retiree doesn't really know what they have a hold of, all right? Because the retiree referred one person. Their one person referred one person. And then their one person referred somebody, well, their one person here, this person here, looks like they referred quite a few folks, 156. And then these people helped to refer 742. And then these 742 responsible for these 1215, so on and so forth. Here is a retiree who only referred one person. Now, their probably on the webinar, and I hope that now they have a better sense of what they have a hold of so that they will do more in terms of personal referring. But look at this. One of my mentors taught me this years ago. He said, you're one recruit away from an explosion. You're one recruit away from an explosion. Well, is this maybe an explosion? If these 4,248 folks average 1 hour a week, our retiree would be making $4,200 a week. Will you promise me our next webinar, you will get some retirees on that webinar, you'll get some loved ones on that webinar, you'll get some friends, and we're setting up, we're developing systems in the background that will be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Will you promise me that when those systems are up and running, that you will get everybody you can to this link? Can you imagine what this would do for this retiree if it's gold? Can you imagine what this would mean for this retiree? Oh, what if instead of averaging an hour per person, it was 2 hours per person? Now this person would be at over $8,000 a week, 30 some odd $1,000 a month, $360,000 a year, and that's as things stand right now. This is without the systems that we're going to be bringing to our audience. This is without any paid marketing. This is without any list building and the trainings that we're going to be doing on Thursday nights. Okay, I've got to round things down here. I'm over my time as to where I want it to be. Give me a moment. Oh, by the way, I did want to show this real quickly. So somebody sent this to me today, all right? And so this is what their plan is they've had some flyers printed up. I took out their URL here. They had a URL. They've had some flyers printed up. They're going to hire a couple kids to just go around and pass out the flyers. There's no excuse, ladies and gentlemen. If this is gold, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. So let me finish up with this, because I said that I was going to show you, at least conceptually, how to go from just being a viewer and maybe earning up to $1,000 a month to being able to scale this to potentially a 6 or a 7-figure income. So let's do this real quickly, and we'll go into a lot more detail on this starting this coming Thursday. Give me just a moment, okay? All right. So how do we take a free biz and potentially scale it to a 6 or a 7-figure enterprise? It starts with what I call the 10-hour pledge. The first tenet of the 10-hour pledge says, covenant to maximizing your viewing income. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my 10 hours a week, that I view my 10 hours a week. I want you to make that same covenant. I know some of you are very, very busy in your traditional businesses, in your working and all your civic duties, in your network marketing businesses. Find the 10 hours a week so that you can turn around with conviction and tell your folks to take the same pledge. Why? Because if you do your 10 hours, you maximize your viewing income. And then when people, you see, you reproduce after your own kind. That is a universal law. You reproduce after your own kind. So if you are doing your 10 hours, it's easier with conviction to convey to your folks for them to do their 10 hours. What happens when they do their 10 hours? They maximize their viewing income. Plus, if you referred them, now you're earning up to $200 a month. Plus, if you didn't refer them, but they're in your 10-level organization, you're earning up to $40 a month. So the 10-hour pledge, the first tenet is to covenant that you will max out your viewing income. That's number one, tenet number one. Tenet number two is to covenant that you're going to recapitalize your business by taking 50% minimum, 50% to as much as 100% of your viewing income, and you're going to sink that into marketing. Now, we'll talk a lot more about this in our upcoming Thursday night webinars. Marketing, what does that mean? Having this, the right tools and resources to help you to build out a business. One of the people that I showed you just a few moments ago, the person that I think had personally enrolled like 270 folks, that is a person that I enrolled. I enrolled them because I have an email autoresponder and I have a list. And when I started, when I made the decision that I was going to promote THW Global with my disclaimers, I sent out an email. All right. I did not Skype this person personally. I didn't Facebook this person personally. I sent out a broadcast email. They happened to be in my list. They were going to join anyway. And they said, oh, I see that you're in. I was going to check this out anyway. Send me your link. Had I not had the right tools and resources like an email list, he would have joined, but he would have joined with somebody else. And he has about 3,000 people in his 10-level organization. So that puts in a few thousand people already in my organization because I had a list. So you got to have a list, and we're going to show you how to build that list, how to get people opting into that list, how to communicate with that list so people are listening to you when you have a promotional message. It may be something totally different than THW. You want people opening up your emails or your SMS text messages. So you're going to take, if you're going to follow our 10-hour pledge, you're going to take at least 50% to 100% of that, and you're going to get tools and resources that those of us that do 6 and 7, and I've got a couple mentors now that do 8 figures a year, what we use in terms of tools and resources. Use that viewing income as a seed. Don't go and eat your seed. Plant your seed back in your business so it produces a harvest. Remember, every single person that you personally enroll could be worth $200 a month for you. And then you're going to use a portion of this 50% to 100% of your viewing income, and you're going to have a monthly advertising budget. Yes, you may get some signups. You may get some people registered with you by going to some job sites and doing some free advertising. But what if you did some paid marketing? What if you did some paid advertising? Think this through. What are companies doing? They are paying to get eyeballs to their offer. That's what THW Global is all about, is eyeballs to advertisers' offers. Well, guess what? That is a clue. If you want to build a long-term sustainable business that includes not only THW, but other income streams, then you want to advertise to get people to your system where they opt in, you get the lead, they then are taken to your link to register, and if they don't register right away, you've got them in your email autoresponder, you've got them in your SMS text messaging list. We're going to teach you all this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because we want you to build a team of 10,000, 15,000, 50,000, 100,000 viewers in your organization. Not all of you are in my organization, but some of you are. And the ones that aren't, I may not get a dime from what you do, but I understand what? The laws of the universe. Because see, I want to get. Make no bones about it. I want to get. But the laws of the universe say I have to give in order for me to get. And what we're going to do is we start in round third. Is we're going to build a culture of people that start to learn how to market. Most people right now that are promoting and marketing THW Global are doing it very wrong. If you go to somebody's YouTube page and you put your link on somebody's YouTube channel, that's a no-no. That is amateur, and no one that is a proven builder in this industry is going to want to join with someone like that, because they're going to say this is a scammer, not scammer, spammer. That's what I meant to say. This is a spammer, and this is a person that doesn't know how to market. We want you to learn how to market. If you don't know how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. But if you learn how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. We want THW Global for our audience to be a jump start. We want it to be the framework that you use to start to build multiple streams of income. So think this through. You use THW to start to generate revenue. You take a portion of your viewing revenue, 50% to 100% of that, and you invest in your business in form of the tools and the resources and advertising so that you start building out your own list. You get some of those people in your list that will join you. Some of those folks are going to hear the same message. They're going to commit to the 10-hour pledge. So some of those folks are now going to be worth $200 a month or up to $200 a month for you. And then as your overall income grows, because now you've got an organization, you're going to take a percentage of that and simply scale that up. We'll talk more about that on Thursdays. So that ultimately, there's no reason ultimately that this right here shouldn't be you. I would say you should have more people you personally enroll, but ultimately there's no reason why this shouldn't be you. And when you follow what we teach, all these folks here, well, not all, but the ones that buy into what we're doing with the 10-hour pledge, there's going to be a culture of people that know how to market, a culture of people that invest back into their business in the form of marketing tools, resources, as well as advertising. So let's say something else comes across your desk. You've got a big list, and you've got a team of folks that have big lists. Something else comes across your desk, and you send out an email to that list. Hey, here's something. It could be crap, could be gold. Let's check it out. Let's see. You're going to get people automatically joining you. And they're going to get people automatically joining them. And they're going to get people automatically joining them. What if you are promoting something that you love right now? Maybe it's a nutritional company. Maybe it's a weight loss product or what have you. And you don't seem to be getting any traction. Well, what if you take what we're doing here, THWGlobal, and then we start to really scale that thing out? And all of a sudden, now you have people that are receptive to your weight loss message. And some of them join you in that weight loss deal. And they have a list too. And their people have a list too. See, ultimately, it's not just about THWGlobal from my standpoint. It's about THWGlobal helping to finance the rest of your business building. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm past my time. This is what we're going to do. All right, this coming Thursday, on this same webinar link, same time, 8 p.m., we'll be training. Now, you can invite new guests, and we'll probably spend 5 or 10 minutes just kind of saying, you know, get back to the person that referred you and what have you. But I want to start sharing with you how we start to map this out. So it goes from being concept, it goes from being those, you know, the feel goods that sounds good, to how do I begin to implement some of these things. So I start building a list. So that I start having people that join me. All right, because for some of you, I know you see these numbers and you get excited, but if you go in your back office, you might be depressed because you might be sitting on zeros. Well, we want to get you off of those zeros, but that doesn't just happen. By the way, this just didn't happen by hope, wish, and a prayer. This happened because this person, whoever this person happens to be, has been delivering value to their audience so that when they had a few people join them, their folks had people join them, and so on and so forth. We want to show you how this, in time, it may take you more than 2 weeks, may take you more than 2 months, may take you more than 2 years, but in time, think about this. You've got 50,000 plus, $1 per week. If they just average 1 hour per week, 50 grand a month, 50 grand a week, 200 grand a month, 2.4 million a year. Why not you? You deserve it, Sean. Cheryl, you deserve it. Sim, heaven knows you deserve it, buddy. Janet, you deserve it. Irene, you deserve it. Alan, you deserve it, buddy. Al Mitchell, you deserve it. Cynthia, you deserve it. Why not you? Why not you? So we'll see you on Thursday night. For those of you who are here for the first time, you're going to get back with the person that referred you to tonight's webinar. Say, give me your link. Register for free. Register for free. Now, I'm going to stop here. My wife has not called me, so it sounds like she's in good shape right now. I'm going to open up for Q&A You put questions in your questions box. We're going to take about 15 minutes worth of Q&A, about 15 minutes worth of Q&A. So if you've already asked a question, there's been a whole lot of comments in the questions box. So do me a favor, put that question in again. And we're going to take 15 minutes and address as many questions as we possibly can. We may not have answers to all of them, but we'll address as many as we possibly can. Hey, Queen, are you still available? Well, good day, ladies and gentlemen. I trust that you enjoyed that webinar presentation, and you are free to get this webinar presentation out to your prospects, to your existing registrants, so they better understand the power of THW Global, particularly if THW Global does execute. They call me the funnel doc, and what we're doing, and the reason they call me the funnel doc real quickly is because I specialize in building and or promoting funnel-based systems. Now, you may not know what a funnel is in the network marketing arena. You don't hear that terminology a lot. You hear that a lot more in more of the internet marketing arena from infopreneurs. We've been very, very fortunate to have a couple of 8-figure mentors, 8 figures, all right? Their business is doing over $10 million a year. And so as we've sat at their feet, we're now bringing some of that training that we've gotten from them to begin to build out our enterprises. So for THW, our brand, we're calling the funnel blueprint. That's, by the way, is not me. That's just a character that we use. Now, here's what I want you to do. It doesn't matter who your sponsor is, okay? It doesn't matter whose team you are on. We're not looking to take anybody, you know, from their sponsor, from the team, or anything like that. What we've done over the past few years is we've always built with the larger team in mind. One enterprise, we had, I think we had about 300,000 at our height with one particular company, because we build with a larger team in mind. Now, here's what I recommend. If you, if the way that we present, if the way that we train resonates with you, then I want you to go to THWGlobalWebinar.com. Now, let me give you this disclaimer. THWGlobalWebinar.com, it was available. It was a URL that was available, so I snagged it, okay? I am not corporate, all right? I do not speak for corporate. At some point, corporate might even say that we can't use THW Global in any of our URLs. I don't know that they're going to say that, but you know, if they say that, then I'll have to use another URL. So I just want to make sure that you know that by going here, that's not something that's endorsed by THW Global itself. I'm an independent. You know, I'm going to be a viewer like you, and obviously building out a network just like you. When you go there and you opt in with your best email address, what that's going to do is that's going to allow you to be registered for our ongoing webinar series. The way we do this, as I'm doing this particular recording, of course this could change, is on Tuesday evenings, 8 p.m. Eastern, we have a live webinar where we're basically introducing the concept of THW Global to new folks, and we're reselling it to our existing folks, okay? So much like what you just saw. Now, I will tell you that what you just saw will evolve as THW Global actually goes live and we see how it all works and what have you. So there will be an evolution of that presentation. Now, on Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern, what we do is we do training, and the design of the training is to begin to teach you how to market, how to build a long-term sustainable business. Yes, there'll be a focus on THW Global, but we want you to be able to build a long-term sustainable business where THW Global is a major part and perhaps a predominant part of your income, but it's not your only income source. Now, I'm not talking about cross-recruiting or anything like that. I'm simply want to convey to you what I've learned over these past few years as I've studied and gone to mastermind groups and really begun to study what are these dudes and dudettes that are doing 10 million plus in their business. What are they doing differently? And because we've been in network marketing since 1994, we want to bring back the tens of thousands of dollars that we've invested in mastermind groups and in trainings and in courses and things of that nature, and begin to share that with our audience. Now, when I say our audience, I want you to thoroughly understand that that doesn't mean that you're personally enrolled by me, and it doesn't even mean that you're on my team. You may not be in my 10-level network. I understand the laws of the universe. I want to get. All right, I want to make that very clear. I want to get. But the laws of the universe require that for me to get what I want, that I have to give. I've got to help others get what they want. So go to THWGlobalWebinar.com. Even if you can't make the live webinars because those times just don't work for you, right now what we do is we send out recordings to that list. Now, this one may be posted on YouTube or maybe some other social media sites, but the majority of our live webinars will not be posted on social media. All right, we're doing this to help connect some dots, because we know there's a lot of buzz about THW Global, but we also know that a lot of people have just signed up for something. They don't really know what they have a hold of, assuming that THW Global happens to be gold. We'll ultimately let you know the training portal and the marketing funnels that we are designing in the background, that you'll have the option of leveraging. And again, a lot of times what happens is that folks, leaders sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with this, they may develop a system or marketing system only for their team. And again, there's nothing wrong if anyone does that. What we have chosen to do is to make anything that we do in terms of marketing available for anyone that optionally chooses to leverage that. So go to THWGlobalWebinar.com. You'll know about our live webinars. You'll get the recordings that we send out to that particular list. There'll also be some other trainings that we'll be sending out to that list. We never send out, this is key, we never send out any personal referral links to that list. We never send out any personal referral links to that list, so you can be confident that when you opt in, or if any of your folks opt in, that we're not going to send out links to try to get them to, change sponsorship or anything like that. That is just that's unethical. We do see things like that happening in the industry. That is not how you do business. That's unethical. Again, you've got to keep the laws of the universe in mind when you're building. All right, so we look forward to seeing you on any of our live webinars, THWGlobalWebinar.com. We love each and every one of you. Let's change the world together, starting with yours. We look forward to seeing you on our next either live presentation or our training webinar. Tuesday nights, presentation webinars. Thursday nights, training webinars. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go build it big.